Can you hear me now? I think I might have hit the mute button by accident. But anyway, let me tell y'all, it has been an afternoon. It has been drug out. Like we were getting dragged in that courtroom, okay? Between AUSA Comey and the sultry softness of Jane's voice, it was a struggle this afternoon. But, child, let me tell y'all. So, there has been a pattern of behavior that has been established because we are seeing it. It happened in Cassie's relationship. It's happening in Jane's relationship, where you have the jealousy, you have the lies, you have the abuse, you have the freak offs, the hotel nights. We have all of that. But in this afternoon session, Jane let us know that at some point in time after Cassie's lawsuit hit, Diddy and her got into an argument, a disagreement, and Diddy was basically saying to her, like, what is your price? Like, I just want to give you whatever it is, the amount that you say, and we could just be done with it and go about our business, right? So Jane Doe gives him a price and Diddy hits the fan. Now, let me tell you what I'm noticing is a pattern of behavior with him. Whenever he gets into an altercation, a verbal one, a verbal dispute, let's say that, with Jane, he says things like, leave me alone, and we're done, and I can't deal with this, and girl, you crazy. And as soon as Jane Doe, because remember now, Jane is not the same Jane that we met on Thursday and Friday. She's not the same Jane from this morning. As I was telling y'all, she started moving into that space and that phase where she was getting tired and getting done, but she wasn't completely done as of yet. So when he starts playing these games, she starts saying, okay. And the minute that he sees that that's not working anymore, what does he do? Go into this baby, baby, please don't go. And there was a lot of text messages that they gave, that they were reading through. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The text message testimony, without it going up on the screen, is a bit of a drag because we don't get to see it for ourselves. There's times when the text message stays up on the screen just long enough for us to be able to jot down important parts, to remember what was said in the text message. But without any exhibits being placed up on the screen, it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to keep up with it, especially if you're somebody like me who has the ADHD. Okay. So, when he was asking her like what her price was, he got mad. He started saying to her, F you, I'm blocking you, and that he was calling the police. He said he was going to call the police on Jane. Okay. He called her an opportunist. And Jane was like, hold on. She told him he's the only opportunist in this, that he used her body for 3 years for his own selfish, guilty pleasures and fantasies, right? So Diddy told her to stop texting him, that he was blocking her number, and he called her a con artist. So Jane is not the same Jane that she was when we first met her. And so now she's telling him, you keep talking about yourself, okay? Jane told Diddy that she was going to, they kept going back and forth. They were going through these text messages. It was a really bad argument. And at one point in time, Jane was just like, she was going to unalive herself so he couldn't use her anymore. She didn't want to be used anymore. She said everything went black. Thank you. He said everything went black. Okay. And so at this point, she has hit a low point. She has hit the point where she feels like nothing is working for her. Okay. She feels like, she has degraded herself. She has humiliated herself. She has taken herself to all of this lowest points that she could take herself to. And now she's just like, I just don't want to be here anymore. Okay. She says she didn't speak to him again until December 28th of 2023. Now, this happened in November when Cassie's lawsuit first came out. Now, the text message that he sent, he says to her that he just doesn't want her to hurt herself and that he loves her. Now, you're talking like weeks later, you say this to her. You don't even know if she's unalived herself or not. But this is what he says to her, and he tells her that he loves her. And Jane says, nobody loves me. She was crying when she was giving this testimony, you guys. But he kept telling her to charge him. And then he was saying that he thinks that he started saying and threatening that he was going to show the tapes because he wasn't getting what he wanted. Like he kept trying to get her to come be with him, and she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I just want my space, my time to myself. I want to be at peace. I want to connect with God. Like I don't like what I've been doing. I don't like what I've been doing for you. I don't like what you've been having me do for you. You don't care about me. You don't love me, because if you did, we wouldn't be doing any of these things, right?" So he's getting mad and he's, threatening her, and he threatens to not only release those tapes that they had been doing together, he threatened to send them to her child's father. Oh, eh? He went on a bipolar tangent. Okay. That's what she was calling them, that they were bipolar tantrums. And she gave him, she said she wanted space, and she gave him space, and she was giving him space, and she didn't want to be bothered. Okay. She declined all of his invitations, because even after saying all of that, Diddy had the audacity to be sitting up here trying to get her to come be with him. Yes. Dun dun dun. So um she tells him, she's like, I've always done what you asked of me. She brought up the past and how he threatened to send stuff to her baby daddy, and it's just like, I'm finished. Like, I'm finished. I'm done. I don't have any more in me, right? So she says, when Diddy threatened to release the tapes, Jane reached out to KK. Okay, she said she reached out to KK because KK was like the brain. She was like the person that would be able to talk to him and talk some sense into him, maybe even talk some reason into him. And like, she let KK know that he had threatened to expose her tapes, that she was asking him for space, that she hadn't been bothering him, yet he keeps bothering her. He keeps accusing her of blackmailing him, when in all actuality, he's the one that's blackmailing her. That he tries to get her to fly out, and when she doesn't do what he wants, he gets, what did she say? She said he's having a heavily evil bipolar episode, is what she called it. Now she says KK did respond to her, and KK said that she was going to read Jane's message, because there was a whole lot in that message and I couldn't write fast enough. Okay. So there was a whole lot in that message, but KK said that she was going to read the message and then she was going to call Jane. But Jane was like, she's just done with the situation. And she told KK, that's okay. You don't have to call. All right. But at some point in time, she and KK end up getting on the phone call. She called her on December 29th. And she told Jane not to worry, okay? She said Diddy wasn't going to expose the tapes. But Jane asked her to hide the phone, because remember earlier I was telling y'all that they had a specific phone that they were using in order for them to be able to do these tapings, okay? She didn't want them on his regular phones because everybody used his regular phones and had access to them. So they had a separate phone for these things. So she asked KK to help her hide the phone so that the tapes wouldn't get out anywhere. And KK told Jane to give it some space. She said that's what she's always telling Diddy, so that they don't end up here. And when they said, what do you mean by don't end up here? She said, in lawsuits. Now, that makes me think about a lot of different things, okay? All right. So now Jane had her quiet time. Okay, we're in January of 2024, last year, y'all. So she's like, she had her quiet time. She's like connecting with God. She's not talking to him. She's not answering his phone calls. Not none of that. She's just on her, I'm trying to move forward from this situation and just heal, right? So she says that she went to Vegas with one of her male friends, that they had invited her to go with them after she had complimented her friend's cousin's girlfriend. All right. And it turns out that her friend's cousin is a rapper. And she was telling him how the girlfriend was pretty or whatever. So he invited her to come out to Vegas. So they flew out on the rapper's plane. Not Diddy's plane, on a new rapper's plane. And they went out there, they went to dinner, they had a good time. They went to the strip club. And then she saw Anton. Anton is one of the workers, the entertainment that she picked for herself. He was out there in Vegas too, and they ran into each other. They were having a good time or whatever. Not her and him, but they saw each other like, oh, it's crazy meeting you here, da 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 da, right? She goes back to the hotel because there's a hotel party that's happening. And baby, let me tell you what happened. She said she went up in that hotel room and Anton was in there clapping cheeks. He was in there clapping cheeks. Do you hear me? Like a stripper, clapping it for them ones in the strip club. He was clapping cheeks in front of everybody. He was performing. He was performing. She said she stayed at the hotel room for like 20 minutes and then her and the friend they left and she went home. That was the extent of this Vegas getaway, okay? Now, it as far as her money goes, we're still in January 2024. Jane said that, remember she was trying to start this OnlyFans and Diddy was telling her that she could not start the OnlyFans, okay? Like they would have to see about it and all of that stuff. Well, she said with her money dwindling and her going into debt, which child, the AUSA called me was like, how do you go in debt and your boyfriend is a millionaire? Baby, we all was like, that's what we trying to figure out. How you got debt and you doing all of this with Diddy and you what? Child, the price for the punata was too low, okay? It was too low. Honey, you need to raise the bar. You talking about he paying $10,000 in rent, but you still scuffling. I don't understand. It does not compute. What is going on here? We need to renegotiate this contract because there's no way you're going to have me doing all of this stuff and I'm in debt. I'm in debt. And I'm sleeping with a multimillionaire. Anyway, so she starts doing her OnlyFans and she says that her money is starting to come in. She also ran into a friend of hers named Bear. Now she said Bear was somebody that she had did promotions for before. But this time when she was talking to Bear, he just wanted to support her. So he gave her like $9,000 and that was it. He told her that if she needed, she wanted to run the promotion, she could. If she didn't, it was fine. That he just wanted to help out his friend. So now comes February of 2024 and here comes Diddy. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the D, the I, the D is Diddy. Hold up, it's Diddy. Okay, Harlem shaking back up on the scene, y'all. Okay, so Diddy messages her and that he had a dream about her. Diddy tells her that he had a dream about her. Excuse me. He had $750 million as a net worth before he went into jail. After he paid Cassie and all of that other stuff and lawyers, his net worth started going down. Either way it goes, millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, quadrillionaire, it don't matter. You should not be in debt if you are sleeping with a man that has all of that money. You should not be in debt either way. Either way, regardless. And now he's estimated net worth at 400 million. So his money is going do, allegedly, okay? Paying for that dream team he got in there. All right, so he messages her and he tells her, he had a dream about her, that she was on the Concorde for the airplane, and so he says, Jane tells him they're having conversation and Diddy is trying to get her to come and see him. And Jane is like, no. What does Diddy do? He flips out. He spazzes out. So Jane tells him, you baited me into this psychotic bipolar episode. Oh no, that was back in December. Sorry. All right, so we're here. All right, so on February 6th of 2024, he says, sending my love. I had a dream about you. Hope all is well. Miss my pretty smile. I haven't seen it in a while. She says, put a smile on it then. I'm sitting in a courtroom like, girl, You was there. You was right there. What are we doing? Why are we stepping backwards? Why are you letting him bait you in by telling you he misses your pretty smile? Girl, you don't know that's game? So he says, that she doesn't deal with him anymore, like running the guilt trip. You don't love me no more. You don't deal with me no more. So he asked her, like, is she free for her birthday? Because her birthday was coming up, you know? He said, send me a pic of those pretty teeth. Now remember, Diddy paid for her teeth. So I was trying to figure out in my head when he said that, send me a pic of those pretty teeth. Y'all get them likes up. Y'all see them likes right there? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Double tap the screen, please, and thank you. Double tap the screen, get the likes up in here. What are we doing? I'm giving y'all the hot henny right now. Double tap that screen, get them likes up, get them likes up, get them likes up. Somebody drop the Cash App in here too for those who want to troll. If you want to troll, you're going to have to hit my Cash App. Anywho, so, he tells her that he was in Miami, and she said, she asked him, you want to spend my birthday with me? So he says, you want me to spend your birthday with me? He said he would love to. And it's been, and that she's going to have a good time for her birthday. So she told him, like, I guess she thought about it because she never insinuated, like, as to why she declined, like, resent her invitation, because she's just like going back into the things that happened that caused them to separate, the whole thing with the other girls, and how he's talked to her, how he accused her of blackmailing him and all that other stuff. She goes into all of that stuff, and Diddy is just sitting back like, what are you talking about? Like, we were just good. Like, what? So she's like, he was upset, and he said he was confused that he didn't know that he didn't want all of this. Like, because she sent him this long text. He's like, I didn't want all of this. So she told him that she was having flashbacks. Like, when he was talking about spending her birthday with her, she started having flashbacks because she was like, she remembered the last two birthdays that she had with him, where her two birthdays ended up with her having to have a hotel party or a freak off. Okay. Um, and then she was like, you have your other girl. The other girl that he's dealing with, her birthday was coming up soon. And then there was Valentine's Day as well, right? And she's like, I already see, like, this is a recipe for disaster. This is the way that things were going before, where, I'm the one that ends up getting the short end of the stick. You're going to come spend my birthday with me, have me do a hotel freak off, and then you're going to go spend her birthday with her and Valentine's Day with her. And I'm going to get less while everybody else gets more. No, thank you. I will pass. Okay. That's where Jane is at with it. She thanked him for remembering her birthday. She told him that they should revisit it when the time is right. Okay. Yes, the other girl is Young Miami. The other girl is Young Miami. Okay. So Diddy told her that he was just trying to spend her birthday with her, and that she took it somewhere else. But he stated that it was her birthday and she deserved to be happy. And she said it was just going to make her cry. And he told her, no, I make you laugh. I promise you, I'm going to make you laugh. You're going to have a good time. Y'all know what happened next, right? Y'all get them likes up. Y'all know what happened next, right? She resisted him in that moment, but then she turns around and she ends up going to spend her birthday with him. And I'm sitting here like, for every 2 steps you take forward, you're taking 15 steps back, girl. You're taking 15 back. Okay. So she gets on a plane and she heads to Miami, and she gets to One Star Island. So she gets to One Star Island, and she's told, oh, we're going to Two Star Island. And she said there's like a pathway between One Star and Two Star. And she said the pathway was lit up with candles. And she got into Two Star, and there was dinner, there was balloons, there was gifts. Like, she had gifts there. It was beautiful. It was a birthday. It was a real birthday. But you know what? I'm traumatized for her, because guess what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about that last birthday freak off that we heard about with the smelly dude that was sweating everywhere. And she ended up leaving the hotel room and went into the suite, and it was all set up for a birthday, only for her to get a surprise, because here came the penis. Anyway, she said it was a 5-course dinner, y'all. She said it was 5-star presence there, y'all. Diddy told her that he loved her and that he didn't want her to leave. Like they were laying back, they were drinking champagne, they had popped their pill, they're sitting there talking, they're having a moment. He tells her he loves her, he doesn't want her to leave him again. All the sweet nothings being whispered in her ear, right? Um, and then Diddy asked her, did she want Don? And I ain't talking about Perry on neither. He asked her if she wanted Don, as in the escort, Don. He wanted Don, right? So, hold on, y'all, because I got to go back. He asked her if she wanted Don. So, you know what came next. Got to flip it over because I got a legal pad now. She says, okay. Why? Blink twice. She says, okay. Get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up. They go back across to 1 Star. And Don was at 1 Star Island, the house across from 2 Star. Remember when King did his rap and he said that they raided the house, but they raided the wrong house because the other house was next door? Baby, they went over next door and Don was there waiting. Don was there. And they had a hotel night. And after that, they rested for 2 days. And they were back together. He coerced that girl into coming back. She was standing tall. Again, he knew all she wanted was to spend the birthday with her. Man, listen. Anyway, so they were back together. This time, she says they had more alone time than before, but she still was doing the hotel nights, okay? She went to go see Diddy 3 times in Miami in May, July, and August. She also saw him in LA at her house and at the Mapleton house. She says that they didn't go out much and they kept private because of all of the media that was going on. Because by this time, Cassie's lawsuit and all these other lawsuits are coming out. So she was like, they just stayed in. And guess what? The hotel nights came to the houses. The hotel nights were no longer in the hotel. They were in the houses. Claudette, how about we stop blaming anybody and everybody? How about we blame everybody? How about we blame everybody? Because that's very biased of you when everybody played a hand in this, especially him. Anyway, let's continue. So she says in LA, she saw Anton and Paul for hotel nights. She saw them like 1 or 2 times in the houses. She didn't want the hotel nights though. She just wanted to be with Diddy. That's what you wanted. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be with Diddy. That's it. She did not want to be doing all of these freak off hotel room nights or whatever. But in order to be with Diddy, she had to do what it is that he was telling her to do, which was get on her job, do these hotel nights. Anyway, after the statement about being at a okay, so hold on, because we skipped something. All right, we skipped something. So Diddy and Jane argued about Bear because Diddy found out about Bear. He saw the text messages because he went through Jane's phone and he saw that Bear had sent her money, right? So after seeing the text thread, he brought up Bear every time they got into it. She said she felt defeated, and Diddy kept bringing him up anytime they argued about any little thing. It was Bear, okay? Because she had explained to him that Bear was her friend. Bear had sent her some money to help her along the way, that there was nothing to it. But Diddy is showing that jealousy that we saw being talked about in the Cassie portion of the testimonies, how he gets jealous. So he was jealous and thinking that she was doing something with Bear when she's testified under oath that she didn't do anything with him. Diddy texted and asked what would happen if he came to her house. Like one night he texted her and was like, what would happen if I came to your house? He said that his mom was coming in for the weekend and that he was going to be spending time with his mom. So he's telling her to get the house ready. Get the house ready means get the house ready for a hotel night. But Jane is like, no, because you want me to get the house ready so that you could come over here, you could have your hotel night, and then you could go be with your boring bitch. Like, ooh, I didn't mean to say that. So she's like, no. Diddy was very adamant that he was going to spend time with his mom, but she just did not believe him, okay? And so they ended up getting into it. Diddy says bye. She told him that they should wait until she was off of her cycle anyway. So Diddy felt like she was stalling, and he's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And while he's doing all of this, after he makes the statements about being done, she says to him that he should go find somebody else to do what it is that he wants done. And and then he starts telling her that she's making her own money. Okay, so now here we go with this house stuff again. Okay, she's not trying to do the hotel night. She's telling him, go do it with whatever girl, whatever boring girl you're gonna be with, go be with that chick. Besides, I'm getting ready to have my cycle. I'll wait till after my cycle, then you can holler at me. And Diddy's talking about you're making your own money, and he's like, I'm just gonna call Robin. Now Robin Greenhill, that's the accountant. And Robin Greenhill, the accountant that's in the picture now, was responsible for paying out things like her rent, like paying the workers that was working. She took care of making sure that a lot of the bills that were being paid that were not a part of Bad Boy or a part of Combs Enterprises were getting paid, okay? So at this point in time, Jane says she's tired of him holding the roof over her head. And she's just like, can you just give me 3 months? Because I'm like trying to get out of debt. You know, I'm starting to make money on my OnlyFans. Oh, that's the other thing. She tells him about her making money on OnlyFans. And he was like, oh, wow, I can't believe you didn't run this past me. Like, she was supposed to tell him that she's out here making her own money. Y'all weren't together. That was none of your business. And you're lucky that she told you when y'all got back together, right? Henny glasses in the chat. So when I tell y'all that this right here, this situation, as I'm watching it play out, I'm watching a normal relationship where it's back and forth, it's up and down. It's a relationship. It's a relationship that's happening here. I don't know. Like, anyway, so he's telling her, like, look, I'm going to pay, like, this house situation. She's like, look, I'm going to pay for it myself. Just give me the 3 months. All right. And I don't need you to pay for nothing after that. Just give me 3 months and I got this. So this is how I'm reading it. Okay. This is not how she said it. I'm being very animated when I tell you this. Okay. So she's telling him that she accumulated debt because she had to get her furniture. She had to get all of this stuff. Right. So he's throwing a temper tantrum. And whenever he's throwing a temper tantrum, we already know what's happening. So Diddy started texting her being petty. And he would just say one word. I'm going to let y'all guess what he's saying when he's texting her. Y'all get the likes up in here. What y'all think he was texting her? One word. Forget it. I'm going to let y'all know. She's texting him like, you do this to me, blah, 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 blah. He's like, Bear. She's like, I just need 3 months. Bear. If that's not freaking petty, Bear. Jane asked if Diddy had Robin cut the rent off. But Robin ended up texting her and telling her to remember her lease was up in April. Like her lease was about to be up in a couple of months. But here's the funny thing. When asked if he stopped paying the rent after this conversation, the answer was no. And who's paying your rent right now? He is. Bear is one of her friends that gave her $9,000 that she said she never had any intimate relations with, but Diddy found out that he gave her money. So now he's being petty. And every time they had an argument, he would bring up Bear. No, Bear is not an escort. Bear is her friend. All right. So now we're going to fast forward to the raid because Jane was still dealing with him when the raid happened. So now Homeland Security shows up to her house and she sees them on the cameras, but she doesn't open the door and they leave a card. So when they left the card, she tried to call him and tell him like, hey, Homeland Security was here at my house, and he didn't answer. So she had to call. What is this new? Because this is a new, listen, this is all new people. These is all new people, new security, new everybody. We're in a whole new era of Diddy right now. So Fahim is the new head of security. So being that she couldn't get in touch with him, she called Fa. And she's telling Fa, listen, Homeland Security was at my house, okay? Just gonna remove that, Dom, because we cannot have names in the chat. Now, what ends up happening is Diddy hires her a lawyer. Diddy hires her a lawyer and pays for her lawyer. And after that lawyer, she gets a new lawyer. And guess who's paying for the new lawyer? The current lawyer that she has right now. I'm going to give y'all a minute. No music. Y'all guess who is paying for the current lawyer that she has? Come on, this y'all know this. Get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up, y'all. Who's paying? Yes. Yes. Y'all are paying attention. This is why y'all are my people. Yes. Yes. I love y'all too. He's paying for her current lawyer too. Anyway, but that's not all. That's not all. And y'all tell me if y'all heard it all before, because guess what? Now, fast forward a little bit, she hasn't spoken to Cabral, which was one of her faves that she picked, right? Out of the blue, Cabral calls her. Guess what Cabral tells her? Cabral tells her that Diddy accidentally picked up his phone one night and was recording a freak off. And he was threatening to leak said tape onto the dark web if she didn't pay him money. I could have swore this same thing happened with Cassie. Didn't somebody already do this before with Cassie? Y'all get them likes up. So now he's blackmailing her. She's like, first of all, she's just like, how much do you want? Like, she didn't even think about it. She's just panicking right now because she's thinking, oh my God, my tape is going to get out. Holy crap. So she says that she called Diddy and told him that Cabral was trying to extort her. She told Cabral, then that's when, she has a lawyer and all of that stuff in place. So she calls Cabral and she tells him, like, I have a lawyer and you're not getting any money out of me and I'm not communicating with you anymore. Okay. But then, are y'all ready for this? She gets a phone call from a really big media company that is saying that they have the hotel night tape in their possession and they're going to release the tape. Kind of like what happened with Mimi and all of them, how all the celebrity tapes all of a sudden end up in the hands of one of these media companies. We know what it is. It was the corn company. It was the corn company that got the tape. She said when she heard the news that this media company had the tape, she fainted. She said she fainted. She fainted and she told Diddy, and they tried to get ahead of it, but the media company never released it, and she doesn't know why they didn't release it. Okay? She doesn't know what happened. She doesn't know who said what, did what, how, what. She don't know none of that. All she knows is it never came out. But we don't know where that tape is right now. All right? Now, we're going to May of 2024. Jane was in Miami with Diddy when the video of Diddy and Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel, when that video came out and was on CNN. She said they were in the room and his son, she didn't say which one, so don't ask me which one, but one of the sons came into the room and they're like telling him like, Dad, we've got a situation. So Diddy gets up, he goes downstairs. She said she gets up eventually. She gets up and she goes downstairs. And when she gets downstairs, it's kind of like everybody is just talking amongst themselves. So she said that she's sitting down at the table getting ready to eat breakfast. And she opens up her phone and she sees the video of Diddy putting hands, feet, and knee bows on Cassie. Okay. She started crying. When she said she saw that video, she started crying. She said she couldn't even eat food no more. Like she just lost her appetite and that she was at 2 star. She says that the day was kind of eerie. Like the air in the day was kind of eerie, right? She was pretty, and that he pretty much was to himself. You know, he was with family, he was with friends. I mean, she was pretty much to herself because he was with family and friends at the time. Okay. And at one point in time, like the family and the friends, like everybody was huddled up. So she was invited to the huddle up. And what were they doing in the huddle up? They were trying to come up with the apology. The apology that we saw that went viral, that was on Instagram, that apology, yeah. The whole family sat down and scripted. They, you know, not the whole family, but whoever was there during that time sat down and helped to script that thing together. She said she went home. All right. After that, she went home. And she said the next day, he showed Jane the final draft, right? And, you know, there was a final draft that went into play. She read it. She said she felt like it was heartfelt and it was good enough given the circumstances, right? But that wasn't the video. That wasn't what was said in the video. He changed the script again, y'all. She says after this, now remember this is May when this video comes out. She says Diddy didn't talk to her until June or July about the video. He said that was the only time that he had ever put hands, feet, and knee bows on Cassie. But during her testimony, we have learned that that was not truthful because that was not the only time. Okay. Diddy and Cassie, he said Diddy told her that they had that Cassie was violent and that Cassie was a hitter. That's what he told Jane. Diddy met with KK and Jane left a couple hours later. Oh, this is the same night. So flashback to when the video came out. She said that she left. She went back to LA after Diddy met with KK, and then the apology letter came out. And they played the apology video. They played the apology video. Jane said that she was disappointed, and she said it wasn't genuine. Now, at this point in time, Teeny Garagos asked for a sidebar. And they went to the sidebar, and guess what? The judge ended up asking for a break. So when we came back from break, they played the IG video apology again. And Jane said she understood that the video was for the video about Cassie, him and Cassie, okay? So now let's get to June 18th of 2024. Diddy was with Diddy was at Jane's house and they were supposed to have a date night, okay? Just the two of them. He had just come from a family trip to Utah, and Diddy's assistant Jonathan went to her house and helped set her house up, okay? So the way that Jonathan came in and set her house up, he had candles, he had red lights because Diddy liked red lights. That's why I have begun making my thumbnails Diddy in all red with the red because Diddy liked red lights. Okay. So she had red lights in her house and all of that. They bought his clothes. They set everything up for him to be there. Okay. So they had dinner. They were chilling. There was no escorts was supposed to come over at all. It was just the two of them on a freaking date night. Okay. And so they were on the back patio drinking champagne. Um, she had pictures of him in the backyard, pictures of him in the back patio, pictures of him in the kitchen. She was taking video of him and everything. And they were showing these things, but not to us though. She said they didn't take anything, that they were just drinking champagne and tequila. And he did the same thing, just champagne and tequila. Okay. Um, she confronted Diddy about the family trip and asked him if he was with another woman. Jane called him a pedophile. Why did Jane call him a pedophile? Because she said that this girl that he was seeing was 20, he was 27 years her senior. So to her, she was like, this relationship just didn't sit right with me. And y'all know who that is. She said the relationship just didn't sit right with her. And so she got mad because she felt like he had taken this girl on the trip to Utah with the family. So she had an attitude about it. Baby, um, Jane said she got really angry, and when Diddy bent down to tie his shoe, she smacked his head into the marble on the counter. Then she said she started throwing glass at him. She was throwing candles at him, and he had candle wax all over him, y'all. So Jane said that she ran, like she went into the bedroom and she closed the door and locked it. Diddy kicked the door in. Now, this is where we get the story, the kicking of the doors in, okay? He kicked that door in, kicked the closet door in, kicked the bathroom door in. She went to go try to run outside, and Diddy wasn't having it. Okay. Um, Diddy kicked her in her thigh and she fell to the ground. Then he picked her up by her neck and he was choking her. All right. Um, Jane says she like squirmed out of the hold that he had on her, ran out of the front door and ran for 6 blocks and was hiding. She said she was hiding for 2 hours because it was the hope that by the time she got back to the house that he would be gone, but he wasn't. Okay. He was not gone. Um, she said she turned the corner in her house and she saw Diddy, and she went back. He went back in the house, and she went back in the house, and she went in the guest bedroom, and she tried to close and lock that door, and Diddy kicked that door open as well. So she went out on the patio, and of course there was an objection and another sidebar. It was a lot of objection and sidebar that was going on in, you guys. So Jane and Diddy ended up on the back patio. Jane had run, and she was like trying to like just, she didn't want to fight no more. But at this point in time, Diddy had punched her in the head, and she punched him back twice. He said that she said that she had curled up and was like kind of protecting herself from him, kind of like we saw with Cassie. It was like, it just sounded like a repeat of what we saw and heard from Cassie at this particular point in time. And while she was balled up on the ground, he kept kicking her. He kept kicking her. Then he grabbed her by her hair and dragged her in the house. Jane said the whole time that he was doing this, though, Jane said she kept telling him, I hate you. I hate you. The whole time that he's dragging her, he's kicking her, she's telling him, I hate you. I hate you. All right. So Jane took her phone and she called, I can't read my handwriting. Oh, Jane took his phone and she called the girl. But we didn't get too far in that. Um, Jane told the girl that he was upstate. He was upset. Diddy told Jonathan to tell her she went with somebody else on the trip. I don't even remember what we was talking about there because at that point in time, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it was like I kind of zoned out. But anyway, so now these two, they're still fighting. Jane was calling him a bitch. She said she was standing in the shower and she was like washing herself, and he's standing in the shower, like in the doorway of the shower, and he's like smacking her, and she's calling him a bitch while he's doing it. She said she just wanted to wash and she just wanted to be over with because she was exhausted at this time. But Diddy told her to put some ice on it because she had like those knots or knuckle knots, the Malone lumps on her forehead and a black eye. And Diddy told her to ice it, okay? After she was dressed, they were in the living room, and Diddy was using her phone to watch corn, and the phone was being mirrored to the TV. So now, with the phone being mirrored to the TV, Diddy decided that he was going to go through her stuff. He asked her if she wanted Don. Oh, so Diddy calls up Don to have Don come over, and while he's watching the corn, he decides to go through um Jane and Don's text thread. Now, remember, she ran into Don in Vegas. So she said Diddy was scrolling through her phone and Don had texted her one time and was like, hey, hanging out with the mutual friend. Diddy saw this and hit the roof because he's like, wait a minute. How you, who do you know? How do you and this porn star, now it's a porn star. How do you and this porn star have mutual friends? You cheating on me? You cheating on me? How y'all have mutual friends? So she was like, she told him about what happened in Vegas and how she had run into him. And she's telling him, like, no, I'm not cheating on you. I didn't do anything with him. Child, Don still comes over. You would think that Diddy would have canceled that appointment. No, Diddy still had Don come over. Okay. Don came over. And Jane says that she and Diddy were standing in the bathroom while Don was there. And she was telling him that she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do this. But Diddy didn't even care that she didn't want to do it. He told her she was going to do it, that she wasn't going to fuck up his night. And so he gave her an e-pill and she went out there and she started giving him some sloppy toppy. And she said she gave him sloppy toppy for what seemed like it was forever. Okay. It seemed like she was giving it to him forever. Um, she said, she was sobbing when she was telling us this. They asked what Diddy was doing while she was doing this with Anton, and she said Diddy was watching, and Jane felt like she wasn't in her own body. She just felt disgusted with everything, and then she really started crying when she started talking about that. And they weren't finished until Anton finished. Y'all have to remember that. So Jane excused Anton and allowed him to leave. She let him out. And you would think that that would have been the end of it. But no, Diddy got dressed and Diddy was not done. Okay. Diddy was not done. He got dressed and he started ramming into her, like just really going off on her, telling her that she's all kind of whores and just degrading her. Now he's walking around in a circle in her living room and she's sitting on the couch just being quiet, just letting him rant. And she said he did this for 2 hours until security came and picked him up and took him away. And as far as the money, she said that Diddy sent money with Jonathan and Fa to the house for her to be able to fix the doors and to pay Anton for his services. So she said she gave Anton like $3,000-$4,000 and she kept the rest to get the doors fixed in her house. But I was sitting in the courtroom, literally, like, get the likes up, y'all. Literally, like, I was stuck. I was stuck listening to this because when I tell y'all, exactly, swagger. I did. Thank you. You said get you a sip of water. I did. At the end of the day, it just feels like for me, because y'all know, if y'all know me, if y'all have been here, y'all know that I like start taking and piecing the puzzle together. It started feeling like deja vu at one point in time when I was listening to the testimony that was being given. It started sounding like we was hearing bits and pieces of Cassie's testimony all over again when it came down to this stuff. And I felt bad for her because I don't know who hurt her. I don't know what's happened to her. She said that she was in other relationships and that there was other abuse that took place. I don't know if that's what it is, but at this point, it felt like I was rooting for her, and then I would see her fall, and I would feel like, damn, he got you. It's crazy to me how all of this happened. I don't want to know how this happens. I don't know what to say, you guys. Why does any of this have to do with Rico and being the head of a criminal organization committing crimes to further the criminal organization? Okay, so Darnell, you're one of those. All right. Between Cassie's story and Jane Doe's story, you know what they have established? They have established the sex trafficking. They have also established transportation to engage in prostitution. They have established those things. Whether y'all choose to acknowledge it or not, it's there. It's there. It's there. You also need to go into the 35 predicate offenses of a RICO. That's what you need to go look up. Because a lot of y'all keep talking about RICO, and money, money. In this case, that's not what they're looking at. They're looking at the predicate offenses, the 35 predicate offenses of the RICO. That's what they are looking at. And even though we are looking at a lot of this stuff as just, hey, she got taken advantage of, or hey, that's just relationships, or hey, even the most disgusting one of them all, that's domestic violence, as if domestic violence is not bad. But you know what? When you're saying that's domestic violence, you are actually admitting that it is an act of violence. And acts of violence and force, that's RICO chargeable. That's RICO chargeable. So, you guys, it's a lot. 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 Sitting in this courtroom, watching the breakdowns that happen of people, we could come out here and we could tell you the story that has been told to us all day long. But you know what? We're talking about Diddy, Frank Lucas. Um, it's different when you're sitting in the courtroom and you're actually watching what these people are going through as they relive some of this. And then it's like to come out and see people spinning for clicks, likes, and views. Like at the end of the day, I do not agree with with domestic violence. I don't agree with um a lot of the stuff that is going on. I can't, I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't. But at the same time, I'm trying to do this thing where I'm not biased. Y'all could be biased in the chat, but I'm doing this thing where I'm trying not to be biased. I don't like that at all. Because I feel like in everybody who is being biased, you're being biased to another party. There are victims, whether you realize what a victim is or not, whether you choose to acknowledge some people as victims or not, there are victims in this case, okay? There are victims. And when people start doing narratives talking about, oh, why didn't they go to the police? Why didn't they just leave? Don't they have a grape kit? Why don't they have this? Why don't they have that? All you're doing is feeding into why people don't come forward in the first place. when people start looking at this situation and they start talking about other topics, like the fact that everybody was hella high, doing hella drugs, people don't want to hear that. They want to say that that's an excuse. I like to have real conversations. And I just feel like this. All of us with an opinion, we don't know what really happened because we weren't there. That's why everything in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Educational purposes as well. But this has been the day. Court was over at 5 o'clock. Some of us have already left. Uda has already gone. I don't see any of the other bloggers or content creators that were out here, but I think some people may have gotten removed today. I'm not sure. But I know I saw some people in the morning and then didn't see some people in the evening or the afternoon when we came back from lunch. I don't know. But that's going to do it for this afternoon's edition of the recap of what happened in court. You guys, I want to say thank you for tapping in and tuning in. As always, it is a pleasure to share time and space with y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Welcome to all of the new people who are a part of the bar. Remember to vibe high so the bullshit don't stick. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, everybody.